What's up everyone, and welcome to Monday's edition of Reptile News. Now today I'm going to talk about only one thing, and this video might be fairly boring for some people and very interesting for other people. Now one thing I'm going to talk about is Barczyk being hacked. Now first of all, I'm going to bring up a few things to some of the tweets that I've actually seen on this account. And that is, number one, the FBI probably does not care about a hacked Twitter account. And number two, give Twitter a day or two. This kind of happened over the weekend. I'm sure Monday, as of this release, it'll probably already be taken care of. But that definitely does not do anything about the damage that's already been done to Brian's reputation. Now, I'd like to be very clear in noting that I like Brian. I really do. For some particular reason, I have no idea why, he blocked me on all his social media. I tried sending him a text message to see what was up, which was never responded to. And the only thing I can think of is we had a little debate over one of the Discovery shows that he was promoting that I didn't believe were getting very good reviews, and I believe I was perhaps blocked because of that. But either way, I'm unable to get a hold of him on any social media networks, and I'm able to do little more than just sit on the sidelines and watch as all this develops. Now, for those of you that have kept up with his Twitter feed over the weekend, I cannot stress enough that probably most of everything that's being said is not true, and the pictures that are being shared, I'd like to note that his face has not been in any of them. And I initially started off in believing about 0% of what this hacker was saying is going on. But that is when I was actually introduced to one of Brian's followers. Now, this particular follower I'm actually not going to name because this particular follower is underage, and I haven't talked to this particular follower about mentioning their name. But they did confirm that some time ago, not too terribly long ago, Brian was flirting with them, but when this particular follower let it be known that this was not okay, he immediately backed off. And whatever kind of relationship he has with his wife is none of anybody's business, really. Open relationships are around everywhere, and I'm actually surprised that they're not even more news today. But that being said, I still believe like 0% of anything that's going on his Twitter account. And this actually, oddly enough, made me go and change the password on my own Twitter account and check the security of my other social network accounts. Not like anybody would be super interested in hacking one of my accounts, seeing as how small they are, but the fear definitely is real. But if there's one thing that everybody can definitely learn from this, whether any of the allegations are true or not, or which ones are true or not, it doesn't matter. Apparently, what you put or say on the internet is there forever. Just like this will be there forever. Now, as far as what I feel, I still like Brian. I think Brian is a good guy. Whatever he's got going on behind the scenes does not affect me and is none of my business, really, as is it none of anybody else's business. I've seen all sorts of allegations surface about molesting children and this and that, but obviously, these are totally just bias with no evidence, no nothing, just weird ass people on the internet showing up out of the woodwork saying these things. And I think anybody could agree that the unfortunate part about the way the internet works is if you have haters, which anybody that does what we do on YouTube does definitely have haters, and those haters are going to say that all this stuff is true, and then some. They're going to make up a whole bunch of stuff. But at the same time, if you have followers, which all of us do have followers, I've got like 2, that all those followers are not going to believe anything that is said about you on the internet, be it true or not. Now, as far as the person in our community, Brian Barczyk, goes, I urge everybody to ignore most of everything that they're hearing on here. Again, if any of it's true, it's between him and his, and none of the business of anybody else. But there's absolutely no denying that similar, I mean, I don't want to associate anyone with Steve Irwin because he was like a god in our community, or I'm sorry, a god for conservation. Brian has really created a ton of enlightenment on the captive keeping and breeding of reptiles. So nobody should be jumping to conclusions off of something that they're seeing directly on the internet. Now, being someone who's followed this since Saturday, about when it happened, I believe his last post was on Friday, I would honestly, just for my own knowledge, be super interested to see a statement from Brian on all this. But like I said, I understand it's really none of my business. Just my dramatic demeanor would like to hear something, but I wouldn't be offended if I didn't. And I think that's where I'm going to end today's show. If you want to read more about anything you heard about today, the one story, click that link right down below here in the description. And as always, if you're still watching now, you know what's going on in the reptile world and out of it. Be good to each other, and we'll see you next time.